Harry, this is Lord Potato, and this is, well, what if Barto was the reincarnation of Garche, Gojo Satoru, and, well, Hollow, also known as White. But yeah. But other than that, let me do recap, but before doing that, go subscribe to Anime Sensei and Iconic What Ifs. But yeah, yeah, go check them out. Also, Anime Sensei really just piss off the Bleach community, but it's funny. I mean, I'm hoping just to piss off the My Hero Academia community so I can just like make money. Oh no, I just really like just pissing off people. But other than that, let me continue on this Barto What If, because yeah. Now let me do a recap. Now, of course, before I go on, I know I did like part 1 and part 2 like 1 month ago. Yeah, 1 month ago. Yes, I know. And I also got to do the 2.1K special. And also I'm also gonna finish with the car. Well, what if Naruto was or had nature's power or whatever? Because I have like an idea to actually finish it like that. But yeah. But other than that, let me continue. So, we go into, well, the recap. So, Barto was actually, well... So, last time. Barto, he is, well, the reincarnation of Gojo, Garden, and even what's it called, well, Hollow, or also known as White. And, of course, he did, well, kind of act like Gojo the most of the damn time. Garden, he only uses, Garden's bloodlust to kind of scare people. And, of course, mostly... Yeah, but of course, what's it called? Barto was going on a field trip with the others, but of course, what's it called? Barto also did beat up a kind of chuny ninja from a class called Class 1Z, and of course, the students there had to merge with Barto's class. So of course, when they were going to the field trip, they had to go along also with them. So of course, Barto was kind of annoyed with them, but yeah, not that much, because even though people tried to force him to be the class leader, Barto forced it upon someone named Keith Nizuka. So yeah, of course it went well. With him forcing it upon him, blah blah. There's also like 3 people that are mostly from clans. One is from the Kurama clan, one is from a blood clan, and one is from an ice clan. But of course, Barto doesn't really care about them that much. He cares about Sumire a little bit more than half the others, but yeah. Now, of course, well, Barto, when they were on the yacht, of course, what's it called? Anko and Shino did see the pirate ship. Barto one-shotted it with just using blue curse energy, because he can teleport, he can fly also. I should have mentioned he could fly. But yeah, my retarded ass just forgot about that. But of course, well, with Barto doing that, he also stayed up really late, kind of scenting just in case any, pirate ships or anything will come or anything like that. Because he knows the Mist Village is still unstable and all that. So yeah, he isn't stupid like in Original Canon, so yeah. I'm not saying Barto in Original Canon was stupid, it's just like, he was kind of spoiled and annoying. But yeah. But of course, in this one, he is actually way smarter and doesn't really care about his parents that much. But mostly his father can fuck off sometimes. But this is where, well, we go into, well, Barto. Now, of course, he did stay up, and of course, this is where he's tired when he met Kageri. Now, Kageri is the grandson of Kageri. But yeah, of course, Barto had to fight against Kageri. Now, I should mention one thing. I forgot they were fighting with wooden swords, not real swords, because Kageri has this, weird bloodlust thing to go ham, try to kill what's called Barto. Or not Barto, I mean just normal people. I don't know why I said Barto. But of course, this is where, well, with that happening, I'm gonna just say they did fight with wooden swords, and Kageri doesn't know about what they call Barto's Zanpakuto, what's it called Zangetsu. So yeah, no one knows about that. I'm just gonna change that. So of course, this is where, well, Barto, he can go Zanpakuto and use Zangetsu, but yeah. Now, I'll mention later if he can use Hollow Form. Well, I'll mention that later. But of course, we go into, well, Barto also meeting the, what's it called, somewhat bandits that Shark Boy kind of like told to get Barto or whatever, or to attack Barto. But of course, Barto really knocked their asses out, and of course, is where Kageri says, yeah, I've seen those troublemakers. Yep. So of course, Kageri, Barto, and even Sumare and the others were kind of just there. And of course, were, well, they were just playing like card games. And of course, Barto, he doesn't really play much card games. He kind of started playing with Shikadai and what's it called, Shogi. So yeah, and Barto's a goddamn genius. And of course, Shikadai can never really know what Barto's really thinking about in Shogi. Now, I know they play like some kind of card games and blah blah blah, but yeah. Of course, I'm gonna just say Shikadai also likes Shogi. I mean, they do because Shikadai is basically the son of Shikamaru, but yeah, you get the point. Now, of course, Shikadai cannot see the expression from Barto's face. The reason why, he can't see Barto's eyes because of the dark shade glasses. Now, those dark shade glasses are black and round like Gojo's, but yeah. Now, of course, what's it called? Also, well, Naruto's face is kind of stoic all the time. A little bit. He sometimes does smile a little bit, but yeah. Now, of course, where Shikadai cannot see what's Barto's thinking. He can't understand Barto half the time. So with that happening, he's trying to go against Barto, but Barto kicked his ass multiple times in the game. Kageri decides to go against Barto, and well, Kageri lost in about 20 seconds. Barto managed to easily defeat him. Anyone that goes against Barto, they lose in Shogi. Because Barto's a god in it. He's smart. Well, I mean, he's incredibly just smart as hell. The same with Gojo. His mind has to be, extremely fast thinking and also be able to, like, understand the knowledge and all that. Because the Six Eyes are having, yeah, you get the point. Basically, Gojo just has to be extremely smart for Six Eyes. Because you will be, well, overloaded with information from the Six Eyes. That's why, Barto has shades, so he doesn't get overloaded by information, but he doesn't overuse his eyes. Since he can't really turn them off, so yeah. But mostly, yeah, the golden eye is also just, the Six Eyes is just a different color. Because it's basically just Garge's eyes, or even if you want to think about it, Zangetsu's eyes, but yeah. Or white if you want to think about it. True God's Zangetsu, but yeah. Now, of course, Barto is going against everyone and easily defeating all of them. Now, of course, this is where one person kind of gives him a little bit of trouble, and that is Sayana from the Ice Clan. This is where she kind of goes against Barto, and it does like take them about 50 minutes to go against each other until Barto actually managed to win, and does make a joke and says, you seem like the type of to be an ice queen, don't you think? This is where she kind of glares at Barto. Barto laughs and just shrugs it off. This is where, next is Sumare going against Barto, and Barto just automatically lets Sumare kind of win. Barto does different movements, so he easily defeated everyone with movements to show that Barto doesn't use the same movements and all that. Of course, change up his style every time, or even defeat someone with the same movements against he defeated someone else. But of course, with Sumare, he tried to be kind of give Sumare a handicap a little bit. Well, not handicap. He didn't think of it like that. He mostly just put one of the check spots into the wrong place, knowing that Sumare would have easily defeated that. Now, of course, Sumare, she managed to defeat Barto, and Barto says, it looks like you defeated me, Sumare. This is where Sumare kind of looks at Barto, and she does say, you only let me one, didn't you? This is where Barto says, what? I didn't do. I play fair and square. This is where, Barto does kind of put, his glasses down to look at Sumare's eyes, and then he says, of course, I didn't let you win. I'm too smart for that. You're just extremely better than me in shogi. This where Shikadai just narrowed his eyes at what's it called. Well, Barto. Knowing that Barto somewhat likes Sumire. Now, of course, he doesn't know what the extent of liking Sumire. It can't be like friendship. Well, I mean, it could be. But then this is where Sumire, she kind of looks at Barto and says, I hate you, Barto, half the time. Barto goes, my heart. But why? Why you hate me? This is where, well, Sumire says, I don't hate you, you're just, how should I say, kind of too playful, aren't you? This is where Barto says, I'm not playful. I can be serious all I wanted to be. This is where, well, she says, whatever. I'm going to sleep. And this is where Barto says, okay. This is where, well, Barto does go to sleep also. And of course, this is where, well, the next day happens, and of course, Barto is called up towards to meet Kageri. Kageri usually kind of calls him Satoru, because this is how. Gojo is his last name for Gojo, and Satoru is his first name, so yeah. But of course, this is where, well, Barto says, yo, you call me up here, what's it called, Kageri? Kageri says, yes, Satoru. So, Kageri still has a sword, one of the seven swordsmen, the twin blade thing or whatever, I forgot what it's called. But of course, this is where the one that's like stick together, the one that was kind of wielded by Chojiri, but yeah. Now, of course, this is where the other seven swordsmen, the bootleg version ones, well, I mean, mostly the kids of the other set, but you get the point. Mostly they're bootleg versions of the actual original, but yeah, you get the point. Now, of course, they are all still there. And of course, this is where Shark Boy, I don't remember his full fucking name or whatever, so I'm just calling him Shark Boy, says, yo, Kageri, you gotta help us and bringing back the bloody mist and sending this world back into where it was before. Because blah, blah, blah. He says the same damn thing in original canon. And, of course, where Barto, he's just looking at them. And, bro, Barto is just like, he fell asleep. He was like, man, this is boring as fuck. Is it where, well, the other seven swords straight up just look at Barto like, what the fuck is Barto doing right now? Barto's going, he just fell asleep. He just didn't care. And, of course, is it where, well, Shark Boy says, hey, what's it called? The Hokage's son, Barto. This is where, well, Kageri says, Gojo. This is where Gojo wakes up because, yes, Barto does that. He doesn't really care about being called the Hokage's son or anything like that. He will straight up just ignore you. So where, well, Barto says, yo, what do you want? This is where, well, Shark Boy says, so, that's your name, Gojo. I thought it was Barto. This is where Barto says, nope, Gojo. You're just retarded. This is where, well, the shark dude kind of gets pissed. He says, oh, really? And my dad... He gets kicked in the face. Before even saying anything, Barto just straight up just kicked him in the face, smashing him to the wall, and the others could not react fast enough to Barto's speed. So Barto says, I don't care about what you said. You a little bitch. Shut the fuck up, shark face. Or shark boy. Or whatever the hell I called you last time. And you can take your bootleg version of the goddamn seven swords back to where they belong. You fucking pathetic weaklings. That's where all of them gets ready. Some of them pulls out their swords. And this is where Barto says, oh, right, you really want to go against me. This is where Kageri says, wait, Barto, stop. Or not Barto, Gojo, please. Allow me to stop this, please. This is where Gojo says, well, Barto says, fine, you can try. I'll be sitting here and waiting. This is where Shark Boy says, you fall into my water prison. Puts Barto in a water prison. Barto, he's not even doing anything. He's just sitting there. Because the water isn't really affecting Barto. Barto has Limitless on. And this is where water is not even drowning Barto. This is where the shark dude says, so, Kageri, kill that boy. This is where Kageri says, I want to help you. I'm willing to help you if it doesn't mean killing Barto or Gojo. This is where, well, the shark man says, fine, then let's go. This is where Barto just says, Or just leave him like that. I really thought you were gonna help him. Or not help him, kick his ass. For fuck's sakes. The water prison was about to break until Barto breaks it out. He was already pissed, but of course he kind of saw them already leave. This is where Barto says, "God damn it, that dude is too much of a emotionless and annoy me. God damn it. His traumatized or whatever is actually annoying me." This is where Barto was about to start walking until he felt kind of weakened. The reason why he's kind of weakened is because he's tired. Well, Barto's kind of tired from, not getting enough rest. So Barto only slept for about 4 to 5 hours. So of course Barto didn't sleep that well. The reason why is because Barto just kind of had this worst feeling something was going to happen today. So of course he kind of fell down and fell asleep. Of course someone did see him kind of they're just sleeping. This was Sumare and even Satoru. So yeah, Satoru and Sumare. Of course they were Sumare was trying to see if Barto was gonna wake up. Barto wakes up and says, "What the hell happened?" This is where his glasses are not with him. So of course his eyes are showing because his glasses kind of fell into the water. But yeah. Of course this is where Satoru and Sumare ask Barto what happened. Barto kind of explains that Kageri went with the other 7 swordsmen, and Barto, he didn't want to admit that he accidentally fell asleep. So of course he says that he kind of got defeated a little bit, but yeah, because he wasn't on guard much. This is where both Sumare and Satoru noticed that Barto never had any cuts or anything, because Barto just fell asleep. Now, of course, they both know Barto fell asleep because he was just kind of snoring a little bit. But yeah, this is where, Barto says, "But whatever than that, let's go save him." By actually asking the Mizukage to kind of not start a war between them and kind of following the Leaf Village and other things like that. I don't want to accidentally kill Kageri. He's a good kid or whatever. This is where, somebody says, "You're a kid also." Barto says, "I know. I said friend." This is where Sumare just says, "No, you didn't." Barto says, "Come on, let's just go to Chojoro." So, of course, they get to Chojoro and just tell him about things and all that. And, of course, this is where, the 7 swordsmen there already take the 7 swords and all that. Or the bootleg versions kind of already take them. And, of course, where Barto and the others are right now going towards the memorial and all that. And of course, when they get there, they still kind of fight against the bootleg version of the 7 swordsmen. So of course, Chojuro had to go against the guy that has Zabuza's blade, so basically the executioner. What was the other one? The explosion sword was on the other guys who had it. One had the needle and the axe with the hammer, basically fighting against Chojuro and Sumare. And of course, Barto was going against what's called Kageri, while Satoru was going against the lightning blades, the twin Kiba blades. Okay, twin Kiba blades, that's what they're called. So of course, Barto. We go first into Satoru. Satoru still defeats what they call her opponent. That will still go the same. Of course, Sumare and what's called Chojuro. Chojuro really kind of took all the blows and all that, while Sumare kind of asked, Nulu to kind of help her kind of fight against the string girl and all that, to kind of biting her and also then punching her in the face, but yeah, knocking her out. Of course, this is where the strings were let go. The executioner blade was about to hit what's called Sumare, until Chojuro managed to block the blade. Block it with just his kind of cut blade sword, and of course then kick at the guy that had the executioner, and then grab the executioner and point it at the other guy. This is where Sumare says, "Thank you, Mizukage." This is where the Mizukage nodded, and this is where Barto is still going against Kageri. Now Kageri did remember how when they used wooden swords, Barto managed to defeat him. Now, he doesn't know if Barto actually uses a sword or he was just trained like that. But of course, this is where Barto's dodging his sword swings and easily dodging him. Of course, this is where Iwabi still kind of fights against the explosive tag user and still kicks his ass. But yeah. But this is where, what's it called? Barto says, Kageri just snap out of it. There's no point for us to fight. This is where how Kageri says he was kind of traumatized and all that. Barto says, God damn it, fine. Barto jumped back. This is where he says, Sangetsu. This is where, well, not Sangetsu, White. White says, sure, I'm here. You ready, kid? This is where Barto says, yup. This is where Barto pulls out his hand in the, well, kind of air in front of him and says, Zanpakuto! Zangetsu! He pulls out the, what's it called? The giant kitchen knife blade that is white and black, but reverse. So yeah. So the blade is black while the thing on top is white. So yeah. Of course, what's it called? So of course the thing, the grip and all that is actually black. So yeah. And of course, it's where Barto, he has his blade out. And of course, his clothing is kind of black and all that. So it changed to kind of being like a Shinigami. So yeah. Which, actually the blade is just normal Ichiko's blade. So yeah. Because I'm thinking of using, White's blade into something else. But yeah. This is where, Barto just looks at Kageri. And Kageri sees the blade. And this is where Barto says, it's time for us to fight, Kageri. Let's see who's stronger, your blade or mine. This is where, the shark dude just says, huh, interesting blade. It looks like a knife, a kitchen knife. This is where Barto, he rushes at Kageri. And of course, this is where Kageri just noticed a blinding speed. And of course, tried to block with his sword, but, Barto uses, Zangetsu to swing at, Kageri. And when Kageri tried to block, he clashed with it, but he thought he had a better grip with it. But of course, his sword went flying. And of course, Barto, his sword then went flying. It stabilized. And of course, this is where Barto slashes at Kageri. Almost hitting him right in the neck. This is where Barto says, your emotions, they're too unstable. Stand down, Kageri. This is where Kageri says, I will not stand. He gets kicked in the stomach. This is where Barto just says, stand down. You lost. This battle, you realize your emotions in battle, you're bloodlust. Those things will affect your fight. Don't use your bloodlust. Don't use your lineage bloodline or whatever. That man is Yagiri, Yagiri? Yagiri is himself, while you are yourself. Don't be manipulated just because someone told you that you are the grandson of Yagiri. You are Kageri, he is Yagiri. You are your own person, okay? That's where, Kageri looks at Barto, and Barto says, just like what I am with my father. My father is Naruto Uzumaki. He has the 9 toes. He's powerful, and he likes to talk no to almost everyone. But I am Satoru Gojo, his son, of course. But of course, I want my own personality. I don't want to be in the shadows of my father. That's why I am my own person. I train with my own abilities. And yes, you can do the same. Train to change your way, not destiny that people believed you to go through. This is where, Kageri then realized that Barto is spitting a lot of facts. A lot of it. And of course, I don't remember what really Barto said, but I'm just changing it. Because, yeah. Of course, where, Barto says, so, will you stop this crazy, stupidity kind of whatever bullshit we were doing? Kageri grabs Barto's hands and says, sure. This is where Mitsuki still posts up and says, yo, I got some, some evidence. So yeah, he still shows the evidence, and yeah. Of course, where, Chojuro and Samari still goes to Barto's aid, and of course, where, Shark Boy still sends out a, blood mist. And of course, where Barto, Kageri, Mitsuki and even Chojo and Sumari. Also, Satoru is right now, well, trying to get out of the cavern that she had defeated the girl with Kiba Blades, but yeah. But of course, well, Barto, he said, what the hell is this? This is where Chojo says the blood mess. Don't let it, what's it called? Well, if you have wounds or anything, it would absorb your chakra. This is where, well, Barto says, got it. This is where Barto says, what's it called? This is where we go into, well, Barto, Misty? Not Misty, what am I talking about? What's it called? Mitsuki? And of course, well, Kageri ready to fight. This is where, Chojo was about to fight until he kind of sustained too much damage, so of course he can't really fight. But yeah. This is where, well, Mitsuki and Barto kind of work in teamwork to kind of fight against the well, the Shark Boy with Semihara. Of course, this is where Barto blocks Semihara's like strikes. And this is where Mitsuki kind of shot lightning attacks at, well, wind attacks first at what's called, well, the guy, Shark Boy. And of course, this is where Shark Boy says, ugh, why you little brats? Tries to swing at Semihara at what's called Mitsuki, but Barto blocked it with what's called Zangetsu. Of course, blocking that shit pretty easily. This is where the guy says, why, you bastards? This is where, well, Semihara decides to kind of fuse with the Shark Boy, making him more into a feral state of, well, a shark. This is where, well, Kageri thinks that this was his mistake, so of course he tried to use a blade. And of course, he did use the chakra blade and of course managed to slash at the guy. But of course, this is where he absorbs it and all. That's where Barto, he says, Gensho. Wait, Gensho got Tenshu. Okay, I think I'm saying it wrong, but it's called, wait. It's called Moonfang Heaven. It's the Moon Fang Piercing Heaven. So yeah, that's what it's called in English translator. Me trying to say it in the Japanese, I'm gonna fuck it up so many times, but it's Genshu Tensho. So yeah, it's called that. This is where Bart, he emits what's it called, like this energy from his sword, and this is where he swings it at what's called, well, the shark dude. Of course, the shark dude gets a slash because he couldn't absorb that, because that is basically spiritual energy. Barto's using spiritual energy to fight against this guy. Now, of course, everyone was shocked, even Sumari. And of course, this is where Barto does it two more times, even though that he knows that it wasted some of his energy. Now, of course, Barto doesn't have his shades, and his six eyes are right now kind of wasting his energy. This is where, well, with Barto saying, I need to not give up. This is where, well, he kind of goes down, but of course, this is where he picks himself up, and this is where he says, hey, what's it called, Kage, give me one of your blade handles. This is where, well, this is where Kage says, sure. This is where Barto uses his chakra. Now, of course, even though the six eyes is kind of draining his kind of, well, not really his chakra, mostly his cursed energy, basically spiritual energy is being wasted by the Genshin potential, he's using chakra now. Now, of course, he pulls the blade apart, and of course, they still manage to defeat the guy. But the guy does have 3 slash marks because, goddamn, the Genshin got potential. It's very strong. And yeah, it did cut this man kind of almost in half. Well, not even half. Cut one of his arms. The other arm that was basically the Semihara part didn't get cut off, but yeah. Of course, Shark Boy was defeated thanks to Barto, Kageri, and the others. So yeah. Of course, this is where somebody says, Barto, are you okay? This is where Barto, he gets out of, well, his Soul Reaper state. And of course, this is where, well, his sword does disappear. It does, like, turn into particles and disappear into Barto. But this is where Barto falls over backwards. Because he's tired, he wasted so much energy, and he doesn't have his shades. This is where Barto says, he falls backwards. And of course, this is where, well, Iwabi does kind of pick up Barto. No, but he does know that Barto's a little bit taller than him. because Barto's actually 5'6", but Wabi still picks him up. But yeah, as well, they say that we gotta get to the curfew and all them other things, and Barto says, "God damn it, I forgot about that." As well, they get to the curfew, and yeah, but this is where Barto's eyes are hurting. So yeah, he doesn't have his shades, and so his eyes are hurting. When he looks at Summer, and Summer says, "Are you okay, Barto?" Barto says, God damn it, my eyes hurt. Looking at you is kind of making my eyes damn hurt." This is where Summer then asks, "Are your eyes kind of special like the Sharingan?" Barto says somewhat like that. "My eyes can see somewhat chakra a little bit. I can see the power and focus of others. But just, that's why I always have my shades, and I don't have them right now. Damn it, I lost them." This is our summary. She, takes off one of her, So, Summary did decide to buy something from, one of the shops. And, of course, she bought, these, somewhat, not a blindfold. It was somewhat of a blindfold. It was like a black blindfold that she might have wanted to use on Barto, just to see if we could see with those glasses, because they were dark and they were in some places and all. This is where she takes it out of her pocket and then put it on Barto. This is where Barto, he says, I can see perfectly fine. Thanks, Summary. This is where, he does smile at Summary, and Summary does blush and say, yeah, don't mention that. This is where Barto says, why did you have a blindfold, and why was it black? This is where Summary says, just because I thought you couldn't really see with those glasses, so I wanted to put that blindfold to make you not see. This is where Barto says, I can perfectly see fine. When my eyes are being a little special, I can see perfectly fine. This is where, Summary says, God damn it. I guess that didn't work. This is where Barto says, but thank you. This is where, Summary says, yeah. This is where, Barto, he does go to sleep, and of course having blindfold, so yeah. So of course he does let himself just rest. He does wake up, and they do kind of go to, back to the village. So of course Rin, Sayana and Samana were kind of filling with something else, but yeah. They're mostly dealing with Keith and Izuka, but yeah. This is where, they get back to the village, and of course this is where Barto, he is kind of wondering why Kageri didn't see him off, or the others, but Barto still had his blindfold on, and this is where, Shino asks why Barto had a blindfold, but this is where Barto then kind of makes a lie saying that he was playing a game called Don't Take Off the Blindfold and Let Yourself Get Hit by Every Freaking Tree, or anything, and yeah. As a wire, Shino says, okay, weird game for kids, but sure. As a wire, Barto kind of made that just an excuse. You're going to try to. But yeah. Of course, we go back into the village, and of course, before Barto leaving, Barto did use teleportation when they were leaving off the yacht, because he knew one thing. He needed to get hit, some what the fuck? Just some stuff for his little sister, because yeah. And of course, where Barto, he goes to a store real fast and buys some sweets, and in the Mist Village, he sees Chojuro, and Chojuro says, wait, Barto, why are you still here? This is where Barto says, bye, Chojuro. He teleports. This is where Chojuro says, the hell? I must have been seeing things. Goddamn. As it were, Barto, he gets back to the village, or not the village, back to the boat, and just go in the, village. Now, of course, we go into, Barto still giving, Hinawari some of the sweets, but yeah. This is where Barto does smile at her, and this is where, Hinawari and Hinata does ask Barto why he has a blindfold. This is where Barto says that he needs, glasses, these shades again, so his eyes won't hurt from the sun. But yeah, this is where Hinata asks why. Barto says, well, Mom, since my eyes are kind of different from anyone's, since one is gold, one is blue, they actually has a special ability for me to allow to see chakra more advanced than the Byakugan. That's where Hinata says, ah, I see. Huh. So that's why you wear those shades half the time. Yeah, to cover off the chakra from blinding my face, my eyes most of the time. This is where, well, Hinata says, don't worry, I'll give you money for you to go buy, well, another pair of shades. That's where Bart nodded. But this is where Hinata says, wait, can you see with that blindfold? Bart says, yeah, I can see perfectly fine. That's where Hinata says, okay, so I guess you have a what's it called, turn off dojutsu. You can't really turn it off. Just like the, well, Renegon. She thinks of the Renegon, the, what's it called, Renegon that, what's it called, well, Sasuke has, and even the Sharingan that, well, Kakashi used to have, but yeah. This is where, well, they go into, well, meeting Shino still the next day because Shino then asked Barto what he wanted to be. And Barto says, a ninja. This is where, well, Barto, before saying a ninja, he say a Shinigami. This is where Hinata and Shino say the what? Basically, they know what a Shinigami is because that means just what's called death. And this is where, well, Shino says, be more specific than that. Fine. A sorcerer. That's where, well, Shino says, what the hell are you talking about, Barto? A hero hunter. Okay, no. Barto, be more specific and not go off on your wild imagination. Fine. I just want to be a ninja, a shinobi. That's where, well, Shino understands, and yeah. So Barto's kind of meets what's it called Kakashi still, and how, what's it called, Barto wanted to be. And Barto still kind of helps the, well, brown haired guy with what's it called, purple, well, not purple eyes, but mostly the purple kind of whatever bullshit that is in his eyes. But yeah. Of course, this is where, well, Barto kind of talked to him after, well, meeting the other students and all, and what they wanted to be. And this is where, well, Barto says, I want to be a shinobi. But not just any shinobi. I want to be a shinobi that can show that he's more talented than, well, his father when he was younger. Then again, didn't he get his ass kicked multiple times by someone named Uchiha Sasuke? This is where the brown-haired guy, who's actually Kakashi, is surprised about Barto. And also kind of widened his eyes when he met Barto first. Seeing that Barto has white hair, kind of whitish-grayish hair. Of course, his eyes are two different colors. But of course, they're with shades, so yeah. And this is where Barto says, but yeah, I want to be that, what's it called? He says, yeah, I just want to be that Mr. whatever his name was, his fake name. So yeah. Or should I say, Six Hokage, Kakashi Hatake. This is where Kakashi wanted his eyes to say, what are you talking about? I'm not Kakashi Hatake. This is where Barto, he sent a little bit of chakra at what's called Kakashi. And of course, I can't remember if that was a wig or not. Wait, let me. So of course, this is where Barto says, release. And this is where, what's it called, the brown hair changes to grayish hair. And of course, this is where Barto takes off the purple things and shows that, well, it was fake and it has a scar. This is where Kakashi widened his eyes, realizing Barto is actually extremely smart than, well, his, well, father. And, well, yeah, his team. His previous team. Barto can easily, well, be an extremely smart kid. It's just Barto really doesn't use that much of that smartness that much. This is where Barto says, so that's how you look like Six Hokage. Trying to disguise and trying to, well, see and scout how you're gonna fight against half the, what's it called? Well, kids who are actually gonna take the entrance exam, or the exam to become genins. Wouldn't that be Six Hokage? This is where, well, Kakashi says, you're pretty smart. What's it called? Barto, but you know, it's kind of rude for you to kind of do that. He had to duck a swing. Well, because Barto decided to kick at him. Because Barto wanted to test out if he's strong enough than the Six Hokage. Kakashi says, "Don't kick at me, Barto. That's rude." This is where Barto says, I'm sorry, Kage. That was just a kind of disorder in my leg. I accidentally kick people that have grayish hair. This is where Kakashi, then you should kick yourself. This is where Barto says, sorry, my hair is white, not gray. Super divine hair, or whatever. This is where, well, Kakashi says, well, if it's white, then that means you're an old person. This is where Barto says the one who's like 50 to 60 years old, aren't you? This is where Kakashi says, I'm not that old, okay? This is where Barto says, you must be using Tsunaida's jutsu then. This is where Kakashi says, no, I'm not using Tsunaida's jutsu. Wait, how do you... This is where Barto says, no, about Tsunaida? Well, she's a very scary lady. Was she drunk and other things? This is where, well, Kakashi nodded. He's like, dumbly, he's like, yeah, okay. How the hell do you know about that jutsu? I'm not stupid, Kakashi. Now, let's see if you can defeat me. This is where Kakashi says, I can easily defeat... He gets knee in the stomach. And this is where Kakashi kind of widened his eyes. But this is where he substituted real fast. So, to see the wooden log just obliterate right in his face. This is where, well, not right in his face. He disappeared into the forest. And this is where Barto says, so you're running away, Kakashi? That's so rude of you to do. No. And again, I would use one of my techniques. Nah, I shouldn't use one of my techniques. But it'd be funny. Maybe I should chase him with speed to see how fast he is. Test him out just a little bit of his, skills. This is where Kakashi says, that kid is strong. If I didn't dodge that attack, he would have definitely crushed me. This is where, well, Barto says, crush you? What do you mean, crush you? I'm just always right behind you. So, of course, Kakashi is right now, like, down with his knees kind of on that branch. And Barto just laying on his, like, back. And Barto saying, I don't understand what you mean, crush you. You mean break your bones, right? This is where Kakashi widened his eyes with the speed. Barto teleported. That's why he couldn't sense him. And Barto used his cursed energy and limitless to kind of, well, mostly limitless, to block out his, well, chakra. But this is where Barto lets his chakra kind of flow, and this is where Barto says, so mean, Kakashi Hatake. You will think that you will be less rude to a kid, especially that of one of your old teammates from Team 7. But I can see that you're kind of mean, or such an asshole for us. For reasons that I don't even know. This is where Kakashi jumps away from, well, Barto. And Barto says, what the hell? He almost fell backwards because, yes, he was laying on Kakashi's, back. And of course, where Barto puts chakra into his legs, and this is where he stops. This is where he looks at Kakashi and says, you're mean. This is where Kakashi says, how did he do that? How did I do what? I just teleport. Well, he didn't say teleport behind him. He just says, I just came behind you and just laid that on your back and was talking to you. Then you jumped away and almost made me fall down. You're mean. That's where Kakashi. He narrowed his eyes at Barto, and that's where Barto just kind of waved at him, smiling. This is where, well, Kakashi says, you don't want to tell me, do you? Nope. This is where Kakashi says, but I'm the sixth. Barto teleports. And this is where, well, Kakashi realized his eyes, widened his eyes, and tried to sense everywhere. Everywhere for Barto. He couldn't sense Barto. So he thought, well, Barto must have left. Barto did not really leave. He was right now just spying on Kakashi from a far distance with his 6 eyes. Because the 6 eyes are extremely advanced. That's where, well, Barto has limitless around him to kind of block out the chakra from actually escaping his body and showing that he's a beacon and all that. And for Kakashi to find him and all that. But this is where, well, Kakashi goes to his some apartment's house or whatever. And this is where he just says, well, gotta get ready for tomorrow, because tomorrow's the exams. Until Barto, he saw that Kakashi was in his house. This is where Barto, he does have lots of pillows, and especially, well, not pillows, mostly feathers, a bag of feathers, and a bag of sugar. Well, not a bag of sugar, a bag of, well, powder. What's it called? Flour, mostly. And this is where he goes into, well, Kakashi's house, while even Kakashi realizing that Barto's in his house. This is where Kakashi, he lays down on his, what was it called? Well, bed, turns off the lights, well, one light. And of course, he decides to read what's it called, the Ichi Ichi book, and says, I wish Jiraiya was still alive. He would have kept making these books so amazing. This is where he's like reading them until, well, this is where, well, his house has, well, this thing that doesn't really have what's it called. I'm gonna say his house doesn't have, like, what's it called, sheetrock, you know, the sheetrock that's on the, what's it called, ceiling. So he doesn't have a ceiling, so I can show the roof and all that, that's wood and all that. And of course, where Barto, well, just say, well, it does have what's it called, ceiling and all that. And Barto's using chakra. And this is where Barto say, wow, you're reading really, what's it called, how should I say, you're really reading those books in front of a kid? That's rude. Kakashi widens his eyes and looks up. Well, kind of takes off the book away from his face. Sees Barto, and Barto has a bag of flour and a bag of feathers. This is where Barto drops it on Kakashi, without Kakashi being able to react fast enough. And of course, flour and feathers just falls on his face. And this is where Barto says, this is payback. Just because for no reason, copycatter. This is where Barto sticks out his tongue and disappear. This is where Kakashi say, how the hell did he get in my house? How the hell could I not sense him? What the hell? Am I really that old? This is where, well, Barto just went back to his house. And of course, he did get into his room by teleporting. But yeah, because he did go first to his house just to get a good night rest. And yeah, well, really just to figure out his mom and all that. But really, he just wanted to piss off Kakashi and confuse him more, and kind of give him a little less of fucking sleep. Because Barto also does shadow clones to kind of distract Kakashi from his napping time. So, of course, every time that Kakashi just tried to fall asleep, another clone of Barto went to put a bag of, well, feathers and, well, flour onto Kakashi. And Kakashi had to stay up, awoke, until he closes his eyes, thinking that Barto left him. And another bag of flour and feathers woke him up again. Realizing that he barely got any sleep because, well, Barto basically made him stay the wake the fuck up. So, of course, where Kakashi, he's getting to the, what's it called, well, examine on it. And of course, where, well, he's in the forest. He's trying to sleep because, yeah. But of course, where, well, Bart and the others are right now doing the, what's it called, genin thing and all. And of course, where Bart, so he's extremely smart, so yeah. So where, well, the, what's it called, the fighting exam will happen and all for, yeah. This is where, well, they get to the exam, and of course, where Barto, he tried to stick with his, what's it called, classmates, because he's an extremely smart kid and realizes teamwork is mostly the best work. So, of course, he divided everyone into 3 teams. So, yeah, mostly their friends and power levels, blah, blah, blah. Everyone in the class. Mostly, he picked Mitsuki and Sumari to be on his team, while Chojuro and, what's it called, Inuichi, and yeah, you get the point. And Satoru to be on, what's it called, well, the 2 other girls, the cat girl and the other. But yeah. But this is where Barto is saying that this would be good because if they do fight against the call, well, the teachers, they'll at least find out to get away from them, or they will need help. And this is where Barto provides what they call some little balls that if you just throw them up, they will throw a kind of signal to kind of show that you need help or something. Red means that you definitely need help. Yellow means that you might need some help. And green means that one of the teachers are taken down. This is where, well, everyone nodded and sees that Barto was basically being a goddamn leader. A team leader. A natural born leader, because, yeah. This is where, well, Barto says, well, let's go. This is where everyone nodded, and this is where everyone is kind of running through. This is where Barto says, summary, Miski. So, I'm gonna have to go against Kakashi Hatake. This is where, well, Barto also mentioned that, well, going against Kakashi Hatake might be difficult because he might be pissed at, well, me mostly. This is where, well, summary, Miski. Well, summary just says, why would he be pissed at you? What did he do, Barto? Barto says, oh, I made him stay the fuck awake up the whole time before this exam happens. This is where, well, he's mostly tired and pissed. So, yeah. Everyone can easily fight him because he's tired, but don't get overconfident because that is a 6 Hokage. So, yeah. This is where, well, Barto, he's right now going to, well, his team is going across another. Right now running through the forest until Konohamaru appears and says, hey Barto, I need you to kind of stop and actually give up. And this is where Barto appears. This is where Barto says, what's it called? Curse energy, red. And flicks it at Konohamaru, blasting him away from him. Yeah, Konohamaru did not realize what the fuck that was. His little thing is cracked. So yeah, and also he's knocked the fuck out. But yeah. Others kind of fought against the called Shino and Uncle, but yeah. Of course, is where, well, what's it called? What is that one kid's name that has brown hair and it kind of looks like Kakashi Hatake? And his team, so they kind of needed help, so they kind of threw a red ball in the air. This is where Barto and the others were kind of close. And of course, where, well, Barto says, damn it, going towards Kakashi, making him go have no sleep, or helping. Damn, I should help them. This is where Barto says, "You keep going ahead. I'll go help them." This is where Shino has them right now captured, and this is where Shino says, "What was that?" This is where, well, they say, "Oh, not telling." This is where Barto appears using what's it called, teleportation. This is where Barto says, "Curse energy blue," grabs all three of them by pulling them towards what's it called, Barto. And Barto does kind of say, you guys okay? This is where they say, what the hell was that? This is where Barto says, don't worry what that is. This is where Barto appears to kind of fight against the car, well, Shino. And Shino was using his bugs, but something was happening. Barto was fighting in such a weird technique of fighting, to attack Shino. And Shino, every time his bugs tried to go through Barto's kind of fighting technique, Barto was right now using flowing, okay, I almost fucked that up. It's called the Fist of the Flowing Water Crush Rock Fist. He's using that technique to kind of just kill the bugs while destroying them and hitting Shino at the same time. So of course Barto is using that, but also hitting Shino in some weak points. So of course when Shino gets hit multiple times in some weak points, this is where Shino kind of falls over, but this is where Barto needs the thing breaking the circle. So yeah, cracking it. That's where Shino is just amazed with Barto's speed, but yeah. That's where Barto tells the others to come on. That's where they start running along with Barto, but this is where Barto says, you can get to Kakashi, right? I have to go to my team just to help them out. That's where they nodded, and that's where Barto teleports. That's where the girl who is kind of like, her hair is kind of blocking off her, eyes, she says, wow, that guy is very scary, amazing, and at the same time, just what the fuck is with him half the time. That's where, well, the Kakashi guy, well, the kind of bootleg version of Kakashi says, he is amazing, but he probably won't be able to defeat Kakashi Hatake. You know, since it's a 6 Hokage. That's where the other guy says, but did you not see what Kakashi's state was? He looked like he didn't sleep. And this is where the bootleg one says, I think that was something with Barto. Why do I feel like Barto did something to him? So of course this is where Miski and Sumari are right now fighting against Kakashi Hatake. And Kakashi is managing to dodge him. And he's like saying, luckily Barto's in here. You two won't be able to defeat me. Barto says, oh really? Barto then swings his swing a punch at what's called Kakashi's head. This is where Kakashi turns around real fast and says, "You." This is where Barto had to dodge a kick from Kakashi. This is where Barto says, "You know, Kakashi, you don't have to be so mean, so angry to try to attack me. I'm just a kid." This is where Kakashi punches him again, and Barto dodges and says, "You know, Kakashi, that's very mean. Try to hit one of your students, or not one of your students. Try to just hit a kid. No, I never did anything to you." Lying. This is where Kakashi says, "Liar, you made me stay the fuck awake for 7 hours? 9 hours. Just for what?" And this is where Barto says, "For this, reverse curse energy, red." This is where he flicks it at Kakashi, and Kakashi cannot dodge it, so of course he get blasted away. Full max into multiple trees. This is where, Kakashi says, of course, trying to react fast and substitute. He does substitute, but of course the momentum is still there, so of course he still crashes into multiple things. So of course, where Kakashi says, "That kid is dangerous, I have to take him out." This is where, the others kind of appear saying, "Where's Kakashi Hatake?" This is where they ask Samurai and Mitsuki, and of course Mitsuki says, "He's over there." Barto says, "Don't let your guard down. Even though I managed to blast him away, doesn't mean he will be taken down that easily. Everyone get on guard." This is where Kakashi, he appears, not teleporting, body flickering behind what's called Barto, until Barto, he noticed what Kakashi was trying to do. This is where Kakashi says, "Purple lightning style," hits Barto with, but it doesn't even affect him, because Barto's using what's called, limitless. But the purple lightning was just to kind of knock out Barto, to kind of electrify him and all that. This is where, Barto says, "Huh? Were you trying to do something, Kakashi?" Kakashi says, "Why can't I hit you?" This is where Barto says, "Oh, because I want to show you something." This is where Barto says, "Can you turn off the right here? I won't do anything." This is where Barto kind of put his hand out. Kakashi does the same. And when Kakashi tries to touch Barto's hand, because Barto says, "Come on, I'm not trying to do anything. You can touch my hand." This is where it's not that hard. It's not that hard, Kakashi Hatake. This is where everyone's confused. This is where Kakashi tries to touch the hand. He can't even get close to it. This is where Barto says, I should mention one thing. I have a technique called limitless. This, is the infinity between us, the space between us. So that's why even if you try to touch me, you can never touch me. But I can." Grabs Kakashi from the fingers and all that, and pulls him in and kicks him. Just like how Gojo kicked Jogo. Of course, this is where Kakashi goes, his eyes kind of go blank a little bit, and this is where, Barto lets go of not Gojo, Kakashi, and starts kind of attacking what's called Gojo with techniques. Not techniques, mostly attacks. You know how Gojo kind of swing, not even punch at Jogo. I think he was just I don't even know what he was actually using half the time. But yeah, he was kind of hitting what's called Kakashi multiple times, punching him, and even kicking him again in the head and all that. And Kakashi's kind of knocked out. He is tired for this shit. And this is where, Kakashi says, "Oh no you don't. Purple Raikiri." And this is where he tries again on Barto. Barto this time flex his body to dodge the attack. And when Kakashi realized that the attack was pretty close and kind of did burn some of Barto's clothes, he realized that Barto might turn off limitless or whatever technique he just said. But this is where Barto says, Fists of This is where Barto says, the fist of warping wind slashing steel, and attacks, Kakashi multiple times with that attack. This is where Barto says, "All of you, get on guard." This is where, he sends Kakashi towards him. This is where Iwabi does kind of use his weapon to kind of have a hammer in it, to kind of have, earth on his, weapon to make a hammer, to swing at Kakashi, smashing him down. This is where, when Kakashi smashed down, Metal Lee does an axe kick to kind of smash him down more. And this is where Satoru does punch him more to the ground. Kakashi goes, these kids are too dangerous. Especially that. Damn it. This is where, well, he's like, I won't give up. I am the sixth Hokage. This is where he goes through hand signs real fast when he gets out of the crater. He says, Earth style, Earth clones. And this is where Barto says, what's it called? He just says, what's it called? Curse energy technique, blue. And this pulling, what's it called? The real Kakashi towards him. And this is where Barto says, wake up, motherfucker. This is where, well, Kakashi says, Kakashi was like pulled towards him. And Barto uppercuts his shit, saying, wake up, motherfucker. Kakashi is now asleep. He's knocked the fuck out. He's so tired and everything. And he did take so much damage, especially from Barto. And of course, where Kakashi's asleep. This is where Barto takes the bells and says, well, we got bells. This is where all of them says, do we even want to ask what you actually did to him? This is where, well, Barto says, did to who? Oh, to knock out, what's it called, Kakashi? I just punched him in the jawline. Might have broke something, but hey, who cares? This is where they kind of sweat drop and say, what the hell? But yeah, with that happening, this is actually where I'm going to leave it off for part 3. God damn it. I wanted to say tree for some reason, but yeah. No, 3. 3, 4, yeah. This would. But yeah, I'm going to end it off here. But have a nice potato day, potato night, potato seed, potato, and potato. Potato.